7:32 a.m. I'm smelling the familiar scent of concrete dust as I walk up the stairs to the bedroom. I've just spent a good half an hour cleaning up D1's mess downstairs. He'd left the kitchen in a shambles. Dirty plates on the table, crumbs and grease on the bench tops and floor, a wine glass with dregs remaining, an empty bottle. It also left footprints everywhere, from dirty shoes, so I had to get out the vacuum cleaner and mop. Upstairs I see more devastation. D1 had dumped his backpack and suitcase in the middle of the main bedroom, opened them up, and strewn their contents everywhere. It looked like he had had a fit of rage. Most of his clothes were filthy, smelling of dried sweat and stale cigarette smoke. I remember hearing that Teresa Green was a smoker. I find his mobile phone and have a quick flick through the messages. I only bother reading the last one from Teresa, and I note that she does, indeed, sound exactly like Kylie. D1 was seeking a familiar pattern. Better that than take a chance on the unknown. In the end, I shove everything back into the suitcase, including his phone, shaver, and the few toiletries he had left in the bathroom, drag the suitcase and his backpack down the stairs, shove them into the booth, and press record and null. Of course, I don't select any print location. Once the booth is empty, I drag the profile I've created to the recycle bin, then empty that. Every last trace of D1 has now been erased. 8:08 a.m. It's just here on the left. I'll need you to wait for a while. Keep the meter running, of course. You want me to wait here? As luck would have it, I've scored exactly the same taxi driver as I'd had last time. Yes, please. I'm only going to be a few minutes. Okay. Is this also drug-making place? If you want to report it, I won't stop you. No, mate. Just need to know if, maybe, I have to keep taxi away in case of explosions. I think you'll be fine. He's wanting to press more money out of me. This time I'm not taking the bait. I walk down the path to the house. Kylie's BMW is in the carport. The garden looks more decrepit than ever. Clearly Brad is even worse at gardening than I am. Jim is in his front yard, digging up the turf again. He's obviously on holiday. I wave hello, and he nods sympathetically. He knows this is my first trip back since his telephone conversation with D1. I press the doorbell and notice it doesn't work anymore, so I knock on the security screen, which rattles. I hear short, fast footsteps, and then the door opens abruptly. Dan, what are you doing here? I specifically told you not to come. She's keeping the screen door closed as a barrier. Just here to say goodbye, Kylie. Don't panic. I also have something small to give you. What would that be? A bit of spite? I can't believe you'd have the gall to show your face after everything you've done. Running around with that Teresa Green hussy for all to see. You've disgraced yourself. Indeed, just as you've disgraced yourself with Brad. But it's all for the best. We were never meant to be together. We both know that. Here is your ring. I take out the now right way round wedding band and hold it out. Oh, I don't want it. It's gold, Kylie. You can melt it down. Is this a trick? No. You know, I'm going to fight you in the courts. Mr. Dixon has already said that I won't have to pay a penny in lawyer's fees. You won't get anything. I've got to get something in exchange for all these wasted years. And you will, Kylie. I'm giving it all to you, every single thing. You don't need to worry. She looks at me with her head turned to one side like a dog, her face screwed up. Just like that, hey? I laugh. Just like that. Here, take the ring. I've got a taxi waiting. I point up to the road. I don't trust you. No worries. I'll leave it here on the doorstep. I turn and walk up the driveway. I hear Kylie screaming at my back. Accusations, obscenities, denials, the works.
I'll get you, you bastard! You bastard! I'm gonna get you! You wait till Brad gets you!
I get back into the taxi and the driver says, Where to now, mate? Whitford City Shopping Centre. Then after that, Nationwide Bank, St. George's Terrace. As the taxi pulls off, I see Kylie opening the door and grabbing the ring off the ground. She holds it in her fist, which she shakes at me as we drive away. I can see her mouth moving, but I can't hear a word. I smile and wave. I didn't need this particular experience, but it's the least I could do for D1. I won't bother to visit Mum and Dad. I can't think of anything I could say to them. 9:12 a.m. I've paid the taxi driver, and he's driven off in a huff because I wouldn't give him a tip. He was perplexed that I wasn't fazed about his threat to report Kylie's house as a drug lab. I'm now left on the terrace, feeling the cool early sea breeze flapping my clothes like a flag on a mast. I walk up the stairs to the main lobby of the Nationwide Bank. 9:24 a.m. Mr. Djurdjevic, so pleased to see you again, my friend. How are you? Well, thanks, Carl. That's Carl. Yes, Carl. I ignore Kyle's attempt to point to his name badge. This way, please. He leads me to a booth and swings himself around to his seat, leans forward and peers at me through his Coke bottle lens glasses. So how may I help you today? I'd like to know how much redraw facility I have on my recently refinanced mortgage. Ah, easy. He turns to his screen and starts tapping away, furiously pausing every now and again to push his glasses back onto his nose with his middle finger. Here we are. $52,142.62. Down already from $65,000. Excellent. I should like to withdraw a round sum of $50,000, please. Yes, Lark. Are you sure? That's a lot of money. And I told you that you should be spending less. What can I do, Carl? My wife needs a new BMW. It's a necessity. Yera, that's crazy, man. Are you sure? That's your whole redraft in one go. Yes, I'm sure. My wife is coming into an inheritance any day now, so it won't be a problem. Okay, then. But I can't believe it, man. I really can't believe it. Believe it. How would you like the money? In cash, of course. Cash? Are you mad? No. Why would you think I brought this with me? I show him the briefcase I just bought at Red Spot at Whitford City. Okay, but as your financial advisor, I must warn you that this sounds very reckless. You're heading towards bankruptcy. I certainly won't be able to save you a second time. Life is reckless, I say. Sometimes you have to take a chance and get off the hamster wheel. Know what I mean, Carl? That's Carl. K-Y-L-E. 9:59 a.m. I'm at the reception of Dixon, Cox and Peters. What do you want? Asks Lucy. Say goodbye to everyone, I reply. Lucy smirks and says, Mr. Dixon won't like it. He says you betrayed us. Indeed I have, Lucy. I've been a total fraud. I need to say sorry. And I hope Mr. Dixon and I can part as friends. Well, okay then. We're about to have morning tea. Excellent. I can say goodbye to all my friends here. Lucy sighs, picks up the phone, calls Dixon's line. Mr. Dixon, I have Dan here. Yes, Dan Djurdjevic. He wants to say sorry to you. I know, but he says he just wants to apologize and say goodbye. He knows. He knows it's morning tea. She listens for a bit, then presses hold and says to me, Mr. Dixon wants to know if you're going to cause any trouble. Of course not. Why would I? I've got another job in Melbourne. You read about that. Everything is great. I just want to say I'm sorry and say goodbye. Lucy releases the hold button. Yes, Mr. Dixon. He says he definitely doesn't want to cause any trouble or anything. He just wants to say sorry to you. Okay, sir. She ends the call and sneers at me. Mr. Dixon is going to come out here. He doesn't trust you. Okay then, that's fine. Matter of seconds later, Dixon, Justin and Brad march out into the reception. I can see Lana and Sonia as the door opens and they wave to me. I wave back just as the door slams.
Djurdjevic, what in heaven's name do you think you're doing here? I should have you escorted from the premises.
Justin stands next to him, arms crossed, feet apart, smirking. Brad is looking a bit uneasy, his hand at his chin. I came to say goodbye, Mr. Dixon, that's all, and apologize.
What are you saying, man? What's your game here?
Nothing, sir. When you're wrong, you have to be man enough to admit it. I wasn't in Kuala Lumpur at all, sir. I was in Melbourne the whole time. I'd already got a job there, as you know.
So who is doing the negotiations with the Malaysians? Asks Justin.
That was Teresa Green. She did all the negotiations on her own. Oh, there was another man there. I forget his name. Apparently he's gone back to the Gold Coast. The Malaysians must have assumed that he was me, and Teresa probably didn't do anything to disabuse them of the impression.
Why would she do that? Asks Dixon.
Well, we were lovers, I'm ashamed to say. I don't know, but I'm guessing Teresa thought I could claim McMahon's salary at the same time as yours.
But that's theft!
I can assure you that it was never my intention to permanently deprive your firm of the overpaid amount. I'll be happy to pay it back. In fact, I insist you deduct it from my termination payout plus interest.
Don't worry, we'll make sure we do just that, says Justin.
I see Brad's face going purple as he protests.
But I don't understand. You were seen in Kuala Lumpur.
Yes, someone was seen in Kuala Lumpur, but it certainly wasn't me. I suspect you'll find it was Teresa's friend from the Gold Coast, but that's just a guess. Otherwise, there are many Victorian lawyers, paralegals, clients, and court registrars who will confirm that I've been in Melbourne since late February. Surely even you aren't dumb enough to think someone can be in two places at the same time.
Oi, that's enough of that, shouts Brad.
And on the other matter, you're welcome to Kylie. Please, be my guest. You are made for each other. By all means, take over my whole life. You can rest assured that I'm leaving everything to her, and you, the house, the car.
Aha, but don't think you can escape your debts, buddy. Kylie showed me how bad your finances were. You can't cut and run just like that.
Oh, I know that. Don't worry. Work out what I owe you, and I'll send you a check. After all, I can't escape my debts, can I? Not unless I get murdered or something. 10:47 a.m. I'm back at the Wanneroo house. I spent a good 20 minutes replicating the $50,000 I withdrew. Now I have two briefcases, the original and another that has 5 times as much in it, $250,000. I make profiles of each that are ready to be printed right way round back in Melbourne. Then I erase both suitcases. I'm about to make sure the house is properly locked up, then print myself back to Justine. But before I can do this, my phone starts buzzing in my pocket. I had to make a right way round copy of my mobile when I got to Perth so as to ensure it would work. The number isn't one I recognize. I answer it. Hello?
Djurdjevic, ye worm.
Ah, Ian. How are you, mate? How's the tooth? I'm glad he's called. I was starting to worry I'd have to call him.
You little fuck. How's your face?
My face? Why, it's perfect, of course, never better.
Pah, you loser. Can't show yourself through a window, 'cause you're so rearranged.
If that were true, don't you think I'd sound a bit, I don't know, muffled? I mean, you're obviously talking through a fat lip.
Smart ass. I should have belted you up even more for that lucky shot. You broke one of my front teeth at the root, you little scumbag. I have to get an implant next Thursday, thanks to you. I think I let you off too lightly.
I am so sorry to hear it. Think of it as a bonding experience.
You can joke, asshole, but I have some comfort knowing that I mashed you up good and proper.
Funny, in the mirror, everything looks quite normal to me. As I say this, I'm walking up the stairs, out of the studio and up to the front door. I have a fairly good idea of where Ian is right now, and I'm hoping Justine is staying out of sight.
Ha ha, you always were an ugly cunt anyway. Bloody wogs and dagos. You're all the same, you know that? Melbourne's curse. Well, smart-ass, can you guess where I am? I'm sure you can. I'm outside your fucking front door. You're hiding somewhere inside, I bet. I see you're still living here. You've even changed the locks. What a gall. I didn't think you were stupid enough to hang around. Not when I'd given you more than enough time to get the fuck out of here. You've taken advantage of my tolerance and my good nature. I'm not impressed.
Sorry, Ian, you're right. I am still living at the house. However, you're wrong about where I am right now. Listen, I'm walking out into the street. Hear my footsteps, buddy? Hear the road noise? Strange. Can't see you.
Okay, so you've been skulking somewhere else then. Big fucking deal. You better be out of here by nightfall, because that's when I'm going to call the cops. After that, I'm going to have you deregistered. Not just in Victoria, but in every fucking jurisdiction in Australia. You'll never practice law again.
Before you do that, I have a proposal for you, Ian. So don't rush into anything.
What kind of proposal?
Meet me at Cafe e Cucina on Chapel Street in South Yarra on Saturday at 1 p.m. and I'll tell you all about it. It's next to the Greek Deli Taverna. I'll have a booking in the alfresco area.
What kind of fucking proposal you possibly have that would interest me?
Wait and see. I guarantee I'll make it worth your while.
I doubt it. Why Chapel Street?
I like Italian. Besides, I want a public venue in case you get violent.
Ah, cowardice again. You're a sad little man, you know that?
I would call it common sense rather than cowardice. But have it your way. So, do we have a deal? If what I have to say doesn't interest you, by all means go ahead and do whatever it is you have to do. Ian laughs.
You stupid fuck. Okay, I'll play along for now. Although for the life of me I can't see why I'm bothering. By the way, better not find out that you've somehow been hiding Justine.
I wasn't aware that she was avoiding you, but if she has, I'm not surprised. Anyway, I'm mystified as to why you think she'd be with me. You wrecked my chances with her, don't you remember?
You crack me up. You really do. What fucking chances are you talking about? Did you really think she'd keep slumming it with you when she's used to so much better? I hate to break it to you, buddy. She was only trying to prove a point to me. You don't have the cash to make her happy. That lovesick puppy routine of yours just makes you all the more pathetic.
Maybe so. In any event, I haven't seen her. You might try her house.
Get fucked. Obviously I've been to her house. Her car's there, but only her smackhead brother is at home. Ungrateful cunt. They gave him money for his habit. I even put him in touch with my very own supplier. The little shit was so chuffed. Finally, his sister had found a boyfriend to match his lifestyle.
You're nothing if not generous.
Too fucking generous, and that also applies when it comes to you. I should kick you out of town right now. But I'll do you one more favour. 2 more days, dickhead. That's all you get. Anyway, it'll give me pleasure to see your ugly broken mug again one last time. My only regret is that you're too cowardly to let me give you another belting in exchange for my tooth. So see you on Saturday, sucker. Let's see what proposal you have for me.
Ian is laughing as the line disconnects. I take a deep breath, go back inside, and lock up the house. Then I go into the studio to print myself home.